The Gaspatch Me163, is it as good as everyone keeps telling me? Let's find out right here on Gary's Stuff. Hello there, I'm Gary. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. So today I am looking at this kit, the Gaspatch Messerschmitt Me163 Comet in 1/48 scale. Now I've heard an awful lot about this kit. I've had it for a year and a half since it was released, and it's about time I made it. So today I'm going to be having a quick look at the history of the Comet. I'll be having a look at what other kits are available on the market, and I'll be having a good look inside this box to see what you get for your money. Now, all these bits come as chapters, so you can just hop backwards and forwards as your heart desires. If you enjoy the show, and I really hope you do, please remember, give it the imperial thumbs up on the like button below. Every like counts. And if you haven't done so yet, please do subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, and you'll be notified of all my future videos as they're released, including the build video of this kit. If you want to give a bit more concrete support and you're in a position to do so, then you can through super thanks, through becoming a channel member, or through any of my online partner programs. So enough of all of that, let's crack on with looking at the history of the Messerschmitt Me163 Comet. The Messerschmitt Me163 Comet was the first, and so far only, pure rocket-powered fighter to enter service in the world, and also the first manned aircraft to exceed 1,000 km per hour in level flight. The aircraft can trace its design origins back to the Fiesler F3 Vespa of 1932. This propeller-driven flying wing design was improved dramatically by Alexander Lippisch, resulting in the Delta IV of 1936. Supported by the Reichsluftfahrtministerium, or RLM, this became the DFS-39, the starting point for a new rocket-powered fighter known only as Project X. A further development, the DFS-194, was modified to take a single Volta rocket engine, and this first flew in late 1939. The design passed to the Messerschmitt company, and in May 1941 the first prototype Me163A was flown. This aircraft set a new world speed record of 1,004 km per hour, or 624 miles per hour, in October of that year. The improved production version, the Me163B, entered service in 1943 and was used in combat from May 1944. Operations were complex. The Volta rocket was fueled by a mixture of hydrazine hydrate and methanol, called Stickstoff, and an 80% hydrogen peroxide oxidizer known as T-Stoff. These are hypergolic, they combust spontaneously upon mixing. It was critical to prevent the chemicals mixing anywhere except inside the combustion chamber, and accidents were frequent. Refueling required two different vehicles that had to be kept separate, with tools and clothing washed down between each and every use. The aircraft took off on wheels with the main wheel dolly dropped after takeoff. Rapidly attaining a speed of about 670 km per hour, the aircraft would be pulled back into a 70-degree climb. The Me163 could reach 12,000 metres, or 39,000 feet, in just 3 minutes from a standing start. Using the rocket allowed about 8 minutes of powered flight, attacking bombers with its two 30mm cannon, after which the aircraft would glide back to its base. Landing was on a belly-mounted skid. The aircraft would be retrieved using a tractor known as the Schlepper and returned for refueling and rearming. During its limited service, Me163s scored 16 confirmed kills, mainly on Allied bombers, with at least 15 aircraft lost in action or in accidents, with more destroyed on the ground. A critical lack of fuel prevented most aircraft from even being used. Late variations included the Me163 Halbicht unpowered training aircraft, one seen here after capture by Soviet forces. An improved version, the Me163D, had a bubble canopy and retractable undercarriage, while an improved Me263 was proposed with greater endurance. Neither flew under their own power before the war ended. A Japanese copy was built as the Mitsubishi J8M, but the only prototype crashed and the program ended along with the war. Several Me163s were captured at the end of the war. One was flown by legendary test pilot Eric Winkle Brown under rocket power and entirely unofficially. The remainder were only ever flown as gliders. Today there are 10 Me163s that survive in museums around the world. One flyable, unpowered replica was built in the late 1990s and is flown as a glider at air shows. There are lots of kits of the Comet around, so I'll stick with those you're most likely to find. Probably the largest Comet kit so far is the 1/24th scale model made by MPM in the early 2000s. This had a very limited run and is much sought after. Hasegawa created a new tall Comet in 1/32nd scale in 1973 and has reissued it with different decals ever since, most recently in 2017. This kit was also sold under the Minicraft and Hales labels. Meng Model also produced a kit in 1/32nd scale. Theirs was released in 2013. The earliest kit in 1/48th scale was the Hawk model of 1960. This has reappeared under the Tsukuba Hobby label in 1981, the Italeri badge in 1982, and the Testors brand initially in 1982 and more recently in the early 2000s in their Classics range. TriMaster made a new tool of the Comet in 1/48th scale in 1990, also of the Habicht trainer version. The fighter was subsequently reboxed by Dragon in 1992 and the trainer in 1996. It was also sold by Hasegawa from 1993 and Revell from 1999. The kit I'm making here from Gaspatch was a new tool created in 2021. The first 1/72nd scale kit of the Comet was released by Lindbergh in 1965, and this has been reboxed 5 times, most recently in 2012. This was also sold under the Revell brand in 1984. Airfix first made a 1/72nd scale kit of the Comet in 1977, reboxed with each change of branding through to 1984. Also in 1977, the Hele kit was launched. This was last released in 1992. Condor MPM created a new tool of the Me163 in 1992. This was later marketed by Special Hobby in 2010 and 2016. Aerodrome made a kit of the Me163A prototype in 1997 and followed this with the Me163B fighter and a Kettenkra towing vehicle in 2001. Pavla brought out their own Me163S trainer in 1997, as did MPM in the following year. Academy's tooling of 2000 could be made in either the single-seat fighter or the 2-seat trainer versions, and included the Schluchschlepper tractor. This kit was also sold by Modelist in the early 2000s, and from Wolfpack and Hobby 2000 in 2022. Maquette made this new tooling in 2000. This is also sold by Eastern Express from 2010 and Microscale Design from 2016. Finally, in 1/72nd, Hobby Boss made this easy assemble kit to their own new tooling in 2007. Kits in 1/144th scale, truly tiny aircraft, include the 2015 Armory kit and the 2017 Bren gun tooling. The box itself has this piece of box art on the front, very smart, very nice. On this side are reproductions of the various scheme options. I'm tending towards this one, the captured British one. On the ends, a reprise of the box art there and there. On this side is some basic details of the kit, 123 plastic parts, some bits of photo etch and some 3D printed parts. Then three quotations from various people, an American pilot here, German pilot here, and a British pilot, Captain Eric Brown. RAF test pilot, not sure about that. Some warnings in various languages, and on the back there's quite a comprehensive history of the aircraft, very nicely written. I haven't been through it that much, but it looks pretty much accurate to me. Anyway, let's see what we get inside. First thing we see is the instruction leaflet in full colour. Very nice. We'll have a look at that in some more detail in a bit. There are some markings on decals here. There's a couple of bits of resin here. There's some bits of photo etch and masks and stuff like that there. Again, have a look. And then plastic bags. Each frame has its own plastic bag in this kit. There are 4 grey frames, 1 transparent. Again, we'll have a closer look at those in a moment. So, Gaspatch buck the trend by making their transparent frame A. Very clean they are. This is obviously the main canopy, some bits from just behind the pilot's area. This is also the back end of the cockpit. This bit goes in front of the pilot, and here's the gun sight. Frame B contains the upper and lower parts of the wings primarily, and a couple of other bits and pieces we'll come to no doubt at some point. These are the covers for the cannon bays here and here. Frame C has obviously the actual main fuselage parts, some framework, flying surfaces, slats, flaps. What are these called? They're not ailerons, they're not elevators, because they're single piece. They're kind of like ailerons, not elevons. Anyway, aileron. We'll call them ailerons because they're on the wings. This is a single wing aircraft, and it's not got a tail, but it's a tailless aircraft. Anyway, leading edge slats, rudder, and fuselage parts here and there. A few bits and pieces, aerials and stuff like that. Frame D is concerned with the undercarriage, wheels, and the landing skids. And frame E is essentially everything else. Guns, cockpit tub, rear panel of the cockpit, you know, the fuel tank cover. I think this is the ammunition feeds, the instrument panel, bits that go on the inside of the cockpit, cartridge racks for the cannon shells, the seat, stuff like that. There's a bag with these 3D printed resin parts. These are there to get the alignment of the guns correct. If you're having the cannon visible, this helps you align the rotation of the cannon so that they sit correctly whilst you're putting other bits in to hold them in place. That's all it is, it's like a jig. Also is a small bag containing, you can just see here, 2 more resin pieces. I think these are either aerials or they're indicators for when the flaps are down. I can't remember which they are, but they're some sort of wing indicators. Flaps are here, various bits and pieces. The straps for the pilot harness, those are here in photo etch. These are bits for, I think these are bits for the cockpit as well. All in photo etch. There are 2 decal sheets here, which is kind of strange. There's lots of versions for 3 or 4 German units, and some captured markings as well, British and French captured markings. There's a separate little sheet that has 2-piece swastikas on them if you want to use them. Otherwise, everything else is here, all the stencils and things like that. These are printed by Cartograph. Out straight out the box, they look incredibly sharp, but we'll have a closer look as well. Yeah, we can see the, here's my tweezers, and my sort of fine tweezers. These markings are beautiful, beautifully sharp, and in sort of Germanic text as well. Absolutely amazing. The instruments, instead of having an instrument panel as a single piece, the instruments are actually, instrument faces are individually done, which is lovely, which means we can dry brush a lot of detail and then add these instrument facings in, which is fantastic. Just look at the delicacy of these white swastika outlines here. Obviously, I won't be using these myself because I've got an RAF aircraft I'm doing. But look how delicate those white lines are. Printing white to that degree of accuracy is quite spectacular. Likewise, the German unit markings here, absolutely beautiful. Spot on registration. I mean, these are some of the, to be honest, these are some of the best Cartograph decals I've seen for a very, very long while. Absolutely beautiful. And finally, in the extras goodie bag that you get are some canopy masks. Now, you've got interior and exterior canopy frame masks. There's these pieces which are the sort of shoulder windows on the aircraft. These are the bits that go on either side of the armoured plate in front of the pilot. And these are 2 small viewing windows that go into the bulkhead behind the pilot's head. Vinyl, look like they're going to be fine. Absolutely amazing that these sorts of things are included as well. If we have a close look at the plastic as well, the mouldings all look very crisp and very sharp. There's no flash that I can notice. Interesting, there's just here and here are the only upper mould lines you're going to have to replace and to fill if you need to smooth them out. So quite a small amount of filling will be needed if these don't fit. They look like they're going to fit, to be honest. The panel lines are all there, not very heavy, but enough for some filling when the paint's done. You can see all the rivet lines are there. Very clean, very precise. What you do notice is how delicate some of these pieces are. This is the radio aerial, the whip aerial, for example. But then if we have a look at the engine compartment pieces, they're all very nicely designed, all very sharp, all very clean. The instrument panel, as I said, the actual individual instruments are have individual decals, so that's quite nice. The thing I do notice is how delicate some of this pipe work is. Here and here, that's going to be that's going to be interesting to take off the frame, and B, it's going to be interesting trying to get those into the right place without messing them up enormously. Very, very fine details, very, very fine moulding, which is good to see, but not a little bit scary. Let's be honest. There's the 30mm cannon rounds there, the guns themselves, and close up on the transparent parts. Very, very clean indeed, crystal clean. Look at this moulding here. This is beautiful. Very nice. What you do notice is there's no air bubbles anywhere in the frame. Quite often with this clear styrene, polystyrene technically, you can get tiny air bubbles. You see it on most kits. They'll have air bubbles in the styrene frames. It's a function of the fact that they're clear and you can't add various plasticizers and flow agents and all the rest of it to it. But there are none. There are absolutely none in this, which is quite astonishing. I don't know how they do it. There's all the detail around the canopy, which is excellent. And remember, we've got canopy inside and outside masks on this, which is excellent. And so finally, let's have a look at the instruction manual. Very, very nice, very bright, clean print. Straight away on the front, colour references, all the RLM colours. There's a couple of REF colours, obviously, as well. All the what all the various symbols mean on the inside, and a few little tips and tricks. There we go. On the inside, the decals, the photo etch, the vinyl, and all of the frames are here. Really nice. And then the instructions themselves, you can see how lovely they are actually. Really clean. Use the mask here, attach the photo etch here, and they even show you like photographs of what it should look like at some point. So rather than just tell you what the colours should be, that's what you're aiming for. That look is what you're aiming for. It could be quite interesting to try and get that sort of look accurate, but hey ho, there we go. I will say extremely clear instructions. Really nice that they give you these. If I were you, this is, if you've done things right, this is what it's going to look like, and that's where you put the decals on and things like that. Really, really, really nice instructions. Obviously very expensive because it's full colour and really well drawn. Here's those the resin jigs I was telling you about earlier. It shows you where they go in and how it all sets up. Yeah, amazing. Really, really nice. Really nice. And then the various decal sheets, placement sheets, the schemes, colours, all the various patterns. Obviously the swastika places are got rid of for various reasons, no doubt. And then the schemes, the two schemes at the end are the French captured aircraft, and then my favourite, the British captured aircraft. Doing these, I've been practicing doing these puff markings a little bit. That should be good. I just love this bright yellow underside as well. So yeah, I think that's a scheme I'm going for. Or do I go for that one? The French captured one. I like captured aircraft, you see. I like the colours of captured aircraft, the way that, they're not what they should be, if you see what I mean. But I think I'll stick with the British one. Anyway, there we go. Very, very good instruction book indeed. There we are then. What an amazing looking kit. I'm not entirely sure. I think I'm going to do the captured version. The REF colours of the captured version. I just love that yellow underside. It looks so cool. Anyway, come back soon for the build video of this kit. If you want to know when that is going to be around, all you have to do is make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you've hit that bell, and you'll receive a notification of whenever that and other videos of mine crop up on the channel. And of course, if you like anything you see here or any of my other videos, please do remember, Imperial thumbs up on the like button below. Every like counts. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Take very good care now. Goodbye.